Damn, Rihanna muttered to herself, huddling under her rain-soaked hoodie. The chilly April shower had caught her off guard, turning her quiet stroll through the deserted Brooklyn street into a soggy sprint. She quickened her pace, the sound of her sneakers slapping against the pavement, echoing off the towering apartment buildings on either side. The distant hum of the city was muffled by the rain's steady drumming, creating an eerie solitude that she usually found comforting. Help! The voice was faint, barely audible above the pitter-patter of raindrops. Rihanna stopped dead in her tracks, her heart skipping a beat. She looked around, eyes narrowing, as she tried to pinpoint the source. It came again, this time clearer, more desperate. With a deep breath, Rihanna stepped into the shadowy alley, rainwater pooling around her feet. The neon glow from a nearby sign flickered, casting a sickly light over the dumpsters and graffiti-covered walls. She squinted into the darkness, her hand tightening around her pepper spray. "Hello," she called out, the word trembling in the cold, wet air. There, huddled in a far corner, she saw a small, trembling figure. A young girl no more than 7, with wide, terrified eyes, stared back at her. Her mother lay unconscious beside her, a grim stillness to her body that sent a shiver down Rihanna's spine. The girl's clothes were soaked and muddy, her face streaked with tears and rain. The scene stirred a painful memory from Rihanna's own childhood, one she had buried deep. Her mother's face flashed in her mind, the same vacant gaze, the same lifeless form, and she felt the weight of the past pressing down on her. For a moment, she was 8 again, lost in a sea of faces that offered no comfort, no rescue. She took a step closer, the pepper spray at the ready, but the girl didn't flinch. She just clung to her mother, her cries now silent, her eyes pleading. Rihanna's heart clenched. She couldn't just leave them here. She knelt beside the mother, feeling for a pulse. It was faint, but it was there. "It's okay," she murmured to the girl, her voice soothing despite the fear coiled in her stomach. "I'm here to help." The girl looked up, her eyes searching Rihanna's, seeking something. Trust, perhaps. Rihanna offered a tentative smile, trying to reassure her. "What's your name?" she asked gently. The girl's quivering lip gave way to a whisper. "Lily." The name hung in the air, a fragile bond forming between them. Rihanna knew she had to act fast. She pulled out her phone, the screen flickering to life as she dialed 911. The call connected, and she spoke in a clear, calm voice, giving the dispatcher their location and the situation. As they waited for the sirens to wail, Rihanna wrapped her arm around Lily, pulling her close. The girl shivered in her embrace, her body racked with silent sobs. Rihanna whispered comforting words, her own fears and memories momentarily forgotten. The rain continued to fall around them, a cold, indifferent witness to their plight. The sirens grew louder, piercing the silence like a promise. Rihanna felt the girl's grip tighten, and she held on, feeling the warmth of human connection seep into the chilling night. The sound grew closer, a symphony of hope, until the alley was bathed in the strobing blue and red lights of the approaching ambulance. The doors swung open, and the world rushed in, medics with concerned expressions, questions, and urgent movements. But in the chaos, Rihanna's eyes remained fixed on Lily's, a silent vow to stand by her side, to be the help she never had. The mother was carefully loaded onto a stretcher, and Rihanna watched as the medics worked, her own heart racing. Lily clutched her hand, her eyes never leaving her mother. And as they were whisked away into the waiting vehicle, Rihanna made a decision. "I'm coming with you," she told the nearest medic, her voice firm. "I won't leave her." The medic nodded, too busy to argue, and Rihanna climbed into the ambulance, the doors closing with a finality that echoed her commitment. The engine roared to life and the vehicle lurched forward, slicing through the rain-soaked streets. Inside, the air was thick with the antiseptic scent of medical supplies and the metallic tang of fear. The mother's chest rose and fell in shallow breaths, a stark reminder of the urgency of the situation. Lily's grip on Rihanna's hand grew stronger as the sirens wailed, a symphony of hope and despair that filled the tight space. The girl's eyes never left her mother's face, a silent prayer etched into her features. Rihanna felt a lump form in her throat, her own memories of ambulance rides and hospital corridors too fresh to ignore. She squeezed Lily's hand reassuringly, trying to be the anchor in this storm of uncertainty. The girl looked at her, and Rihanna forced a smile, willing it to be enough. As they arrived at the emergency room, the world outside the ambulance transformed into a whirlwind of activity, doctors, nurses, and the cacophony of a place that never slept. The stretcher was pulled out, and Rihanna followed closely behind, not letting go of Lily. The hospital's harsh fluorescence cast a cold light over everything, starkly highlighting the mother's pallor. In the bustling chaos, Rihanna filled out the necessary paperwork, her heart pounding with each question about the woman she had only just met. The girl sat quietly beside her, her eyes never leaving her mother as they rushed her through the double doors. The clank of the stretcher's wheels grew distant, and she felt a pang of loss, a reminder of her own mother's absence. They waited, the minutes stretching into hours, the air thick with the scent of fear and disinfectant. Rihanna held Lily close, sharing in her silent vigil. The girl's warmth was a stark contrast to the chilling memories that threatened to consume her, yet in this moment, she knew she had made the right choice. When the doctor finally emerged, his expression was solemn. He spoke to them, his words a jumble of medical jargon that Rihanna struggled to decipher. But the one word she caught was clear: critical. Lily's grip tightened, and Rihanna felt the weight of a new responsibility settle on her shoulders. They were led to a small private waiting room where the girl curled up on a chair, her eyes red and swollen. Rihanna sat beside her, stroking her hair gently, her mind racing. What now? Who would take care of Lily if... The door swung open, and a nurse stepped in, her scrubs a blur of blue and white. "Miss," she said, looking at Rihanna, "you can come with us to see her mother." Rihanna nodded, her throat tight. She scooped Lily into her arms, feeling the girl's trembling body cling to her. They followed the nurse down the hallway, the echoes of their footsteps a solemn march. The nurse paused at a door, her gaze flicking to Lily before she pushed it open. The room was stark, the machines beeping a rhythmic chant that seemed too loud in the silence. The mother lay on the hospital bed, surrounded by tubes and monitors that blinked with a mechanical vigilance. Lily's eyes grew wide, taking in the sight with a mix of awe and terror. Rihanna set her down, her hand hovering protectively. "Remember, she's sleeping," she whispered. "But she can hear us." Lily tiptoed to the bed, her small hand reaching out to touch her mother's cold fingers. The machines seemed to pause for a moment, as if acknowledging the contact, before continuing their relentless rhythm. Rihanna stepped back, giving them space, her eyes stinging with unshed tears. The hours in the waiting room had given her time to think. Lily couldn't be alone, not now, not like she had been. The girl's eyes met hers, filled with a silent plea, and Rihanna knew what she had to do. "I'll stay," she told the nurse, her voice firm. "I won't leave her side." The nurse nodded, a soft smile ghosting her lips, before leaving them in the dimly lit room. Rihanna pulled a chair beside the bed, her eyes never leaving the mother and daughter. The rain outside had turned into a soothing lullaby, a backdrop to the quiet sobs that Lily couldn't hold back anymore. Rihanna reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, worn photo. It was her mother, smiling, healthy, full of life. "I know it's hard," she whispered to the unconscious woman, her voice barely audible, "but you have to fight." Lily looked up, her eyes questioning. Rihanna tucked the photo away and took the girl's hand again. "Your mom is strong," she said, her voice shaky, "and we're here for you." They sat in the quiet, the only sound the steady beep of the heart monitor. Rihanna's thoughts raced. She had to call someone, find out what happened, figure out what to do next. But for now, she focused on the warmth of Lily's hand in hers, the beat of the woman's heart, and the promise she had made to be there no matter what. As dawn crept in through the blinds, casting a faint light into the room, Lily finally fell asleep, her head resting on Rihanna's lap. The singer stroked her hair, her eyes never leaving the mother's still form. The rain had stopped, but the quiet outside was filled with a tension that mirrored the one in the room.